11:45, I will defend my thesis at 1 p.m. So basically I will have 3 to 4 hours and here I am in the gym to do some workout to suppress my stress. So wish me luck, and you can spend the rest of the day with me and you can see my presentation and the environment of defense. Oh my god, I think I just lose my speaking ability. You can get familiar with the environment as well, because I'm going to record my defense. Yeah, come and spend the defense date with me. Now it's 11:15 or something like that, and at 12 I will be going to do my makeup and drying my hair and this kind of stuff, just to be ready for the defense. I will join my Zoom meeting at 12:30 just to make sure that there would be no technical issues, and at 1 p.m. all of the guests, committee members, university examiner, and my supervisor will join me, and we can see what will happen at that time. Style my hair. I don't know what am I doing, but I'm doing my best. Okay, so if it's not correct, just don't laugh at me. This is the final look. I don't change my shorts because it doesn't going to be shown in the Zoom, but this is the look. So see you in half an hour. And yeah, I think I'm right now I feel I have distress, and just send me the positive energy and wish me luck.
Few minutes later.
Thank you to everybody who is here today. My name is Samira Khairdariya, and this is the defense of my Master of Art thesis titled "What are Fathers' Preferences for Digital Support to Facilitate the Transition from the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit or NICU to Home." Before starting my presentation, I would like to dedicate my defense to Faiza Hossein Nejad, a former midwifery student in Iran who was in January 9th. So yeah, here's the roadmap of today's presentation. As you can see, we start with the background and significance, then to the research question, literature review, methodology, then for the findings, which I will present in details my 7 themes, and the discussion and conclusion and implication. Okay. Fathers are no longer passive bystanders in early childcare. Research increasingly shows that they play an active, vital role in their children's emotional, psychological, and social development. When a premature infant is born or is medically fragile, They are admitted to the NICU, which is profoundly stressful time for the whole family, but fathers in particular are often forgotten. At the time, digital technologies such as mobile application, telemedicine, and online platforms have been rapidly expanding, specifically since the COVID-19 pandemic. The critical gap is this. While digital supports show real promise for families navigating the NICU to home transition, almost no research has focused specifically on fathers' preference or need from this support, and this study is directly addressing this gap. My central research question was, what are fathers' preferences for digital support to facilitate the transition from the neonatal intensive care unit to home? This question was chosen deliberately because it centers the father's voice, not mothers and not other caregivers. And the study's object is explore and understand fathers' preferences, including what types of digital support fathers find most useful, what information and guidance they seek, and how they prefer to access these resources. I conducted a literature review of 21 articles, and the inclusion criteria are address needs or preference of fathers or parents of the NICU infants, focused on NICU experience, examine digital support such as application, online platform, telemedicine, or e-health intervention written in English, and any kinds of study design. A striking finding showed that only 23.8% of a study focused exclusively on fathers. The rest include fathers in their samples but did not analyze their experiences or preferences separately from the mothers. Of the study reviewed, 38.1 tested the usability and feasibility of digital support, and 50% of those found significant increase in parental confidence after using the digital support. However, the key research gap were consistent. Almost no study differentiates which features fathers specifically prefer, whether text, video, interactive content, or something else, and the lack of fathers' specific reporting was repressive. The gap directly justified my study and shaped my research design. To answer my research question, I used a qualitative approach with inductive content analysis. Inductive content analysis was chosen because it allowed themes to emerge directly from the data without imposing pre-existing categories, which is particularly appropriate when, as the literature showed, so little is already known about fathers' specific preference. Data were collected through semi-structural virtual interview lasting 17 to 32 minutes each, and sessions were recorded and transcribed. To ensure rigor, I conducted intercoder reliability check and held regular supervisory debriefing through the analysis. This study also received ethical approval from both UBC Okanagan campus and University of Calgary. 5 fathers from the P3 cohort in Alberta participated in this study. All 5 met the inclusion criteria, which are aged 18 or older, infant in Alberta NICU for more than 24 hours between 2021 and 2025, able to communicate in English, and with access to an internet-enabled device. I want to transparent that while I aim to recruit 20 to 30 participants, only 5 completed the interviews. No father participated in the planned focus group, and these 5 fathers provided detailed nouns account that formed the basics of 7 themes of my finding. And I want to emphasize that in qualitative research, depth is prioritized over the breadth. So the concept of information power guided my sample size ration. A smaller number of richly articulated participants with highly relevant experience can yield substantial analytic depth. Analysis of interview transcription identified 7 key themes, reflecting fathers' preferences and experiences during the NICU to home transition. Participants are identified as P1 to P5 to protect the confidentiality, and as you can see, these themes are interconnected together. They paint a coherent picture of what father-inclusive digital support should look like. The theme 1 captures the emotional experiences and implication for digital design. Across all 5 interviews, fathers describe anxiety, fear, uncertainty, and feeling of overwhelm. These emotions were not just about NICU itself, but it's about a sudden shift in their responsibility that discharge they represented and their baby's physical health. One father said, "You have a baby now and you have someone else to take care of." Importantly, anxiety was not limited to the first few days. For some fathers, it persists for weeks or months. One described a moral gradual recovery, taking a few weeks to months to feel less worried. What connected all of these fathers was uncertainty about what was normal versus what was concerning, and the absence of constant professional reassurance they had in the NICU. The digital implication is clear. Supports that normalize this feeling, offer staged emotional check-ins, and provide accessible professional reassurance at key milestones could meaningfully reduce this stress. And in my literature, Richardson says that partners primarily seek for the information, offering practical guidance and emotional support. And in Kim 2020 and 2016, they said that fathers turn to social media for companionship and peer learning during this transition. In theme 2, it described how fathers' sense of preparedness for this transition was shaped by both the quality of learning opportunities available to them and the gaps in information they experienced. Fathers who felt more prepared frequently pointed to prenatal classes, NICU-based teaching, and rooming in experiences. One noted that labor classes helped them know exactly what to expect. Hands-on visual learning was specifically valued. Fathers wanted instructional videos demonstrating caregiving techniques, as well as practical checklists for exhausting early days at home. However, fathers felt unprepared, describing discharge as a sudden and overwhelming. Key anticipatory guidance, such as recognizing jaundice, feeding issues, or infant distress, was often missing, and prenatal classes did not address NICU-related scenarios. And when they turned to online resources, fathers were wary about Google isn't super trusted, it can point you anywhere. The implication here is also clear. Digital supports must provide timely, actionable, professionally grounded guidance, not generic research results. And in my literature, Rains 2017 says that neonatal help simulation program, fathers' confidence rose from 6.06 to 8.8 post-simulation for the hands-on learning. Theme 3 describes how fathers moved from initial fear and uncertainty toward growing confidence as caregiving and what supported that journey. Confidence was not something fathers arrived home with. So it developed gradually through observation, repetition, and reassurance. Seeing nurses care for their infant in the NICU was important. It modeled competence and gave fathers something concrete to learn from. One explained that keeping the baby under observation before discharge gives them the confidence that everything is fine when they are taking the baby home. Fathers also described wanting ongoing access to professional nudge after discharge, not just the one-time information dumped at discharge. One said being able to connect with a healthcare professional and be nudged in the right direction would deeply reassuring. The key insight is that confidence is adaptive and develops in stages. Digital supports that only provide information at discharge are insufficient. They should evolve over time, offering early reassurance and gradually reducing support as confidence grows. And as in my literature, Garfield's and Rains, in Garfield's it says that NICU to home, for the NICU to home application, higher parenting sense of competence, stores with controls from the admission through the 13 days post-discharge shows a significant increase in their parental confidence. And in Rains, it says that neonatal health stimulation, significant confidence gains for both mothers and fathers. Theme 4 captures what fathers said made digital resources feel genuinely useful, and it comes down to 3 intersection dimension: accessibility, relevance, and father inclusiveness. On accessibility, fathers wanted multiple formats depending on their mood and context. The common thread was that the resources need to be quickly searchable. As one mentioned, a search bar that captures their need exactly. Fathers need fast answer to a specific urgent question as well, not browsing experience. Garfield again said that parents want mobile application for essential information and healthcare support. And on relevance, generic content was consistently described as less useful than personalized. Personalized stage specific guidance. On preferred personalized chat or one-on-one, that's one of them said. And relevance was also time-sensitive content that needed to be manageable during periods of exhaustion and stress. Peer support was valued selectively, with some fathers engaging in online groups while others preferred to lighter touch interaction. In Kim 2016, it says that fathers desire educational content tailored to their specific needs. On father inclusiveness, fathers wanted resources that explicitly recognized them as caregiver, not resources that lumped them in with parents generically. Optioning community features were preferred over large open forums. As one father put that, I would shy away from a large forums of people kind of chatting all day long. Together, these dimensions form a clear design brief. Digital for NICU fathers should be fast, searchable, multi-formats, personalized, and explicitly built for fathers. For the theme 5, it consistently and clearly states that digital support should complement, not replace human care. When asked about reassurance, fathers almost universally describe conversations with nurses, doctors, or 811 as their most trusted and comforting source. One father explained, reading something in an application only elevates my worry by so much, but talking with healthcare professional will do that pretty much more than the app can do. Trust was a major barrier to using digital support. Father questioned that credibility of online information. They didn't know how they were dealing with on the other side. The solution they point to is the digital support that they are visibly connected to healthcare institution with real professional accessible through the telehealth or live chat features rather than anonymous generic platform. And again, in my literature review, Dole 2019 emphasized the need for healthcare to guide parents in evaluating online resources. The quality of online resources was a concern for parents. And in theme 6 and 7 also, they address the social and practical realities of fathers' life post-discharge. In theme 6, fathers primarily understood their role as supporting their partner and managing the household. They often describe themselves as supporters rather than direct recipients of care and felt their own needs were invisible within healthcare system. Fathers noted that their partners had WhatsApp groups and social network for mutual support while they had nothing equivalent. This highlights the gap. The digital supports are needed to create father-specific spaces for peer connection. And in my literature, Fernandez 2016, it says that peer-to-peer support through online communities reduce isolation and boost parents' confidence. And in theme 7, the early post-discharge period was dominated by urgent practical demands, sleep deprivation, returning to work, managing older children, and emergency supply runs. Fathers wanted support that was fast, centralized, and fit into their fragmented moments of daily life, such as short videos, quick reference checks, and instant access to professional advices. In my literature review, Lakshman 2019 says that families valued accessible, reliable, ongoing support, wanted mobile health application for discharge care. Okay, drawing these themes together, 3 interrelated issues emerge from the finding. First, the relationship between emotional distress and confidence. Fathers began the transition highly anxious, but with the right preparation and support, their confidence grew.
This trajectory needs to be supported through structural guidance, while digital tools offering timely, stage-specific emotional support alongside practical information. Second, the persistent primary of human care. Even fathers who were open to technologies draw a clear line. Application supplements, they do not replace the real human. So this has a major implication. Digital support has the most effective when they function as extension of trusted healthcare relation, not a standalone platform. And third, fragmented, non-tailored support. The current post-discharge landscape for fathers is scattered and largely generic. A centralized, father-focused, healthcare integrated digital support could bridge the gap in a meaningful way. And now let me address the strength and limitation of my study. On the strength side, this study is one of the very few to analyze fathers' preferences independently in depth. The qualitative design allows rich nuanced data, and intercode reliability and supervisory debriefing ensured rigor. Ethical approval was granted by 2 institutions. And on the limitation side, the sample of 5 is small and limits the generalizability. All participants were from Alberta, Canada, and were English speaking. So finding may not reflect fathers who are from different cultures, socioeconomical differences, or geographical contexts as well. Participants self-reported introducing the possibility of social desirability bias. No focus group data were collected, and because no specific digital tools was evaluated, the findings are exploratory and descriptive rather than evaluation. And I want to be clear, these limitations do not invalidate the findings. They contextualize them and point directly to what future research should address. Just give me a second. And to conclude, this study makes 5 contributions, documenting fathers' largely invisible emotional challenges during the NICU to home transition, showing that existing support systems are fragmented and treat fathers as bystanders, demonstrating fathers' openness to digital health support when they are trustworthy, practical, and professionally linked, reinforcing that the digital support must complement rather than replace the human care, and laying groundwork for father-inclusive healthcare-linked resources that benefit the whole family. Implications fall across 3 levels. In the clinical way, providers should explicitly include fathers in discharge planning and position telehealth and nurse hotlines as father-specific resource. For the digital design, mobile-first application branded for fathers, featuring emotional check-in, stage-specific content, option in peer communities, and professional chat are what this population is seeking for. And for research, for future studies, it needs more diverse sample, separated analysis of fathers' data, and long-term implication, and cost-effective work. And right now, I can say thank you so much for your time and attention for today. I would like to thank my supervisor, Dr. Elizabeth Keys, and my committee members, Dr. Marie Tarrant and Dr. Eric Lee, for their invaluable guidance through this journey. And also, I would like to thank to those 5 fathers who shared their experience with me for my research.
Thank you, Sandra.
2,000 years later.
I am so happy right now, and I actually forgot to record a video right after the defense, and I think I just lose my mind right now. Now is 3:50 or something like that, and I passed with some minor revisions that would be always here for any grad students. And yeah, you're looking at someone who just defend her thesis and got her master's degree. Actually, and we are planning to have some fun at night with my friends just to celebrate this milestone. And I'm not sure, but maybe I could try my best to record some videos about the fun things that we are planning to do, and see you soon.
Brian, I don't know, Brian and Diane are on the same level.
Hello.